Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back for a new book reading. I'm going to start today. A book from William Harris called Dangerous Game. Chapter 1. I'll begin at the beginning. I don't know when the game began. My wife died 12 years ago, and the game began soon after that. But I can't remember exactly when. I continued to live in this house after she died. I still live here. It's a big house, but I don't want to move to a smaller place. I love this house and everything in it. You see, I haven't got many friends. And all the things in this house are important to me, so I can't live without them. Sometime after my wife's death, I realized that my bedroom was haunted. It's the only room in the house that's haunted. One night, I suddenly realized there was a ghost in the room. I wasn't afraid because this ghost was friendly. It was a happy ghost. I always want to laugh when it was in the room. You'll say it was my wife's ghost. I don't know. I always think of the ghost as he, not she. I named the ghost Poldy. I made up the name Poldy from the word poltergeist. You know that a poltergeist is a playful ghost. It likes to drop things on the floor. It likes to make a noise. It likes to throw things around the house. It likes to move your bed and to play games. Poldy was friendly and playful, so we made up a little game. We play it every night. We played it for years now. In fact, I must always play the game before I go to sleep. I can't go to sleep if I don't play it. Poldy doesn't appear at midnight or anything like that. He's not that kind of ghost. He's always in the room, but he only appears when we play the game. Of course, I don't have to play the game, but I always want to play the game. I know Poldy does too. I'm writing this story because I want to tell you about this game. Nobody knows about it. My best friend, perhaps she's my only friend, doesn't know about it. I know about it, and Poldy knows about it, and that's all. It's our little secret. But I'm talking too much. When you live alone, you're always talking to yourself. I must begin at the beginning. My name is William Harris. I'm 48 years old. Perhaps you've heard of me. I'm not famous, but many people have heard of me. You see, I am a writer. I've written about 25 books. I write all kinds of stories. Love stories, detective stories, and yes, ghost stories. But don't get the wrong idea. This isn't just another ghost story. This is different from any story that I have written. Why? Because it's a true story. Everything in the story has really happened. In fact, strange things are still happening. I am not a famous writer, but my books sell quite well. I have the money to live in this nice house. I can live in the way that I want to live. I'm not rich, but I'm not poor either. I live simple. I always lived simple. When my wife was still alive, I didn't live very simple. We went out a lot, we had lots of friends. But since she died, I don't go out very much. I like to stay at home and write my books. Just now, I am writing another detective story. My readers like my detective stories best. I made up the famous detective Filbert Wiley. Perhaps you heard of him. Perhaps you've read one of Filbert Wiley's stories. I stopped work on my new Filbert Wiley book to write this story. I have to write it now while there's still time. But I must tell you something about myself first, and about my wife. Life was very different for me when she was alive. My wife's name was Julie. She was 2 years younger than I was. She was completely different from me. She liked to dance and sing. She liked to go to parties. Our house was always full of people in those days. "Put a suit on, William," she often said to me. I don't like suit. Put a suit on meant many things. Perhaps we were going out. Perhaps friends were coming over for dinner. Perhaps we were having a party. I could never be sure. Anything could happen. I never knew about it before it happened. My life was in Julie's hands. Without her, I was nothing. I didn't want to meet the world, so Julie brought the world to me. It was a wonderful life. It was wonderful because Julie made it like that. All our friends were jealous of me. Lucky old William, they often said. Lucky man to have a wife like that. She's so quiet and so uninteresting. And she's so alive. Oh yes, they were jealous. You don't often see happy people. Really happy people, I mean. And we were happy. That was our secret. Love was our secret. I loved Julie and she loved me. But then suddenly, Julie became ill. Very ill. I called the best doctors, but they couldn't do anything. I looked after her day and night. But in 2 short months, she was dead. I couldn't believe it. I still can't, after all those years. When she died, part of me died with her. Now she lives in my memory. And I can't forget her, and I will never forget her. I didn't want to look for another wife. Julie was my wife for 12 years, and now she's been dead for 12 years. Sadly, we never had any children. So when she died, I was alone. I shut myself in my house. I did nothing except work. At first, I wrote my books because I didn't want to think of my dear wife. The pain was too great. In times, things were a little better, but the pain has never really gone. I still feel it sharply when I think of Julie. She's still alive in my memory. Of course, I lost nearly all my friends, all those jealous friends. They liked Julie, but they didn't like me very much. Without Julie, I didn't go out. I didn't go to parties. I didn't ask other people to come to my house, and all my friends soon left me. Nobody was jealous of me. I wasn't lucky old William, just poor old William. Now I have only one real friend. His name is Lewis, and he's a writer too. But I don't know anything about his books. I haven't read any of them. In fact, I haven't seen his books in any bookshop. Lewis and I never talked about books. That's because we have the same interest. We both like chess. We have a game of chess once a week. Lewis comes to see me every Wednesday. He always arrives at 8 o'clock in the evening, and we play chess for about 3 hours. Sometimes we play a number of games, sometimes only one. At about 11, Lewis goes home, and I go to bed and play a different kind of game with Polly. But I'll tell you about that later. Lewis is a really very good friend. We play chess and never talk very much. Sometimes we don't say anything all evening. Good friends don't need to talk. Lewis knows me very well, and I know him very well. We've been friends since we were students together. Lewis was my friend before I met Julie. He knows a lot about me. But there are some things that he doesn't know. He'll be surprised when he reads this story. Lewis and I have played chess together for years. He often came here when Julie was alive. Julie and I never went to parties on a Wednesday because that was always my day. I must tell you that Lewis will be here tomorrow. It's Tuesday today. Tuesday morning. I'm sitting at my desk in my study and I'm writing the story. The winter sun is shining through my study window. It's a beautiful day, but I don't want to go out. I never want to go out these days. Filbert Wiley is my only company. For now, I'm very tired. Very, very sleepy because I didn't sleep well last night. I played a game with Paulie and it didn't end for a very long time. I'll tell you about this game, but not yet. Well, that's my life. It's a very simple life and not a very interesting one, is it? How can life without Julie be interesting? Here I am, a middle-aged writer alone in a big house. I have only one real friend in the world. I have my books. I have Filbert Wiley, the famous detective. Perhaps I'll live through Filbert. I have my chess, and I have my memories. But it's not a sad life. It's not a very quiet life. A lot happens in this house. There's a lot of noise and laughter because, yes, I have Paulie. And I haven't told you anything about Paulie yet. Paulie and laughter go together. I mean, they went together at first. I don't know when the game began. I've already told you that, and I can't remember when I first met Paulie, but I can remember very clearly how I met him. I can remember the first time that he appeared. The first time that I realized that he was in my bedroom. I can remember every detail, so I want to tell you about it in detail. My bedroom wasn't haunted when Julie was alive, or perhaps it was, and I didn't realize it, and I'll never know. Do you believe in ghosts? I've written a number of ghost stories, but they were only stories. I never believed in ghosts before, and I'm not sure I do now. But I know one thing. I'm sure there's a poltergeist in my bedroom, and I can't say more than that. Here are a few details about my bedroom. You need to know them before I can tell my story. There's a big double bed in the room. Yes, it's the same double bed that Julie and I slept in. The head of the bed is against the wall. I sleep on one side of the bed. It's the same side that I've always slept on. There's a bedside table next to the bed. There's a bedside light on the table. There's a light socket near the floor. The light socket is for my bedside light. My light has a long cord. There's a plug at the end of the cord, and this plug goes into the light socket. Don't laugh at these details. They're all very important. You'll understand the reason soon. One dark winter night, I was reading in bed. It wasn't an interesting book, and I was very sleepy. I usually switch off the light when I want to go to sleep. My light has a small white switch, but that night I didn't switch off the light in the usual way, and I don't know why. Strangely, I reached over the side of the bed and pulled the plug out of the socket. Why did I do this? I still don't know. It was a funny thing to do. When I pulled the plug out, I suddenly wasn't sleepy. I was awake. Like really awake. The room was dark, completely black, but my eyes were wide open. My book fell to the floor. It hit the floor with a loud sound, but I didn't notice. I sat up in the bed with my eyes open. I rested my back against the head of the bed. I looked into the dark room. Of course, I couldn't see anything, but just then, I knew there was someone in the room. I didn't know where in the room, but she was somewhere in front of me. Many minutes passed. I looked hard into the dark. I waited, but I still couldn't see anything. I wasn't afraid. The person in the room was very friendly, and I was happy. I couldn't hear anything, but there was laughter in the air. "Who is it?" I called. "Who's there?" But there was no answer. I waited for a long time. The person in the room was a friend, a good friend. I want to meet this friend very much. If I switched on the light, perhaps I'll see him, I thought. I pressed the switch on my bedside light. I pressed it on and off, but nothing happened. Then I remembered the plug wasn't in its socket, so I reached over the side of the bed and pushed the plug back into the socket. Suddenly the light came on. The room was empty. I could feel it. I knew the person wasn't there. I pulled the plug out again and waited. Nothing. The room was still empty. I put the plug in and the light came on again. There was still nobody there. I switched the light off from the light switch, but nothing happened. I was alone without my friend. I stayed awake for many hours. I thought, it's a poltergeist, and immediately the name Poldy came into my head. I called out, "Poldy, Poldy," but he didn't come back. In the end, I fell asleep. But I knew something important was happening to me. This was my first meeting with a friendly ghost, my first meeting with Poldy. And this was the beginning. And this was the end of chapter 1. I'll begin at the beginning. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.